I don't know what I don't know, but I've seen through the illusion of life in a way that sometimes haunts me. And once you see it, it's hard to unsee. It makes living as a human strange. But here's what I've come to understand. In this realm, everything is about survival. Our bodies are slaves to conditions, to food, water, safety, belonging. Look at this pyramid. If these needs aren't met, we suffer. Pain, loss, envy, anger, greed. And in the end, death. If God is the nothing that gave birth to everything, if all is one and one is the all, then it means God consumes itself, forgets itself, even kills itself, all to reproduce and experience itself. The game of life seems to be about money, sex, power, survival. And we, as humans, hand over our freedom to whatever the collective tells us matters. So we compete for resources. We do things we don't want to do. Force ourselves to work, sacrifice ourselves for family, prove our worth to friends and partners. We even harm ourselves or others for school, for jobs, friends, status, for love, for sex, for survival, just to keep playing the game. Life becomes a constant attempt to escape pain and chase comfort. And in this game, something deeper happens. We are trained to feel unworthy, not enough, not good enough to rest, not enough to be loved as we are. We're taught peace must be earned, worthiness must be proven, that we must climb the pyramid to deserve to exist. We constantly tell ourselves, not now, I'm not ready. So we chase more self-improvement, money, status, accomplishments, even health, like we're a product. But this is the illusion, because in truth, you are already worthy. Not because of what you've done, or how far you've climbed, what you have achieved, but simply because you are, because you exist, because you are already nothing, already God, already love itself. And what you are behind every mask, beneath everything, this can never be taken away from you. Behind your eyes, there's something watching. Awareness, the observer. That is the real you. And you're also both the eternal observer, God, nothing, and the temporary body, the ego, your identity. God is the roots beneath the forest. Ego is a single tree. And God can always grow any tree. God is the ocean. ego is a single wave. And God can always create any wave. God is the TV screen. Ego is the movie. And God can play any movie. You are both the timeless presence and the fragile human story. And God, as nothing, is perfectly safe. Nothing can be harmed. Nothing is eternal peace. Nothing is the safety net behind all of this. But when God wakes up inside the human, something shifts. You no longer want to play. You long for the unconditional, for freedom without boundaries, for peace without accomplishments. Yet you're still in a body, still in an ego that wants, fears, desires, and dreams of living a life worth loving. So we endure, we keep living in a world, we keep playing the game. But nothing lasts. Everything always changes. You came into this world as nothing, whatever nothing is, and you will return out of this world as nothing. Every gain, every accomplishment, every experience, it never lasts. It will be lost. But it can be experienced again. Now we all want to be saved, so we escape into hobbies, relationships, sex, alcohol, work, gym, life crisis, music, parties, materialism. But if you sit still, really sit, you face the truth. You are God in a body. Consciousness trapped in a body. And this body is trapped in society's conditions. Not truly free. A slave to society and yourself. And that truth hurts. It hurts to realize this is it. This moment, this breath, this body, this is it. At least for now. But look deeper. And in a mystical sense, you'll see all of it is love. Everything is. The way we love just depends on our level of consciousness. Love expresses itself differently depending on where we are in the pyramid of needs and where we resonate on the scale of consciousness. In survival consciousness, everything is about staying alive. We overeat, eat junk food, get lost in addictions, even porn. Anything to soothe fear, to cope with life, to feel some release through the body. It looks raw, desperate, even distorted. But in truth, it's still love. Love trying to keep you alive. At the level of safety and security, love shows up as protection. We hoard money, stay in jobs we hate, avoid risks. Not because we're weak, but because love is guarding us against loss and uncertainty. What looks like fear is love in disguise. But guess what? Life is always uncertain. No one is ever safe here. At the level of belonging, Love takes the form of attachment, jealousy, clinginess, people-pleasing. They may look like flaws, but they're really love terrified of losing connection, terrified of being alone, desperate for union. When we come to the level at esteem and ego, love tries to prove itself. Narcissism, arrogance, overworking. These are love's attempts to be seen, to feel valuable, to protect against feeling small. And at the level of self-actualization and transcendence, love begins to stretch beyond the personal. We may bypass pain, obsess over gurus, or fall into despair when truth feels out of reach. But even here, it's love. Love for truth, love for guidance. Love so strong it cannot settle for lies. And finally, surrender. The purest love. No conditions, no proving. Only being. Just existing. As you are. Right now. Do you see? Every stage of consciousness, every layer of need, is simply love appearing in different forms. At the lowest levels, it's the love of this realm being everything. Because if conditions aren't met, we face pain and death. But at the higher levels, it's the love of absolute truth, nothing, and God. And both are sort of true. We exist in the material world as of now. But the higher truth is still there. So these are very hard to balance. And as I witness myself, I feel like there's a war inside of me. Two different magicians. Where the red magicians want to conquer this reality, and the white magician longs for eternal peace. And I just have to realize that they're both part of me. They're both part of what I experience right now. So I just have to accept them. That I desire sex, women, money. And those that say they don't, I feel like they deny themselves. And when we see collapses and crises in life and in society, it's often love demanding authenticity. Even your darkest habits are love doing its best with the level of awareness available. And the realization is this. Everything I did, even my mistakes, was love trying to find itself. So wherever you find yourself on the pyramid, whatever level of the Hawking scale of consciousness you're resonating with right now. And personally, I feel like I jump throughout this entire scale, almost on a daily basis. Ego wants to achieve and become, to prove that I can. And God just wants to rest, be peace, be presence, be nothing. And it's difficult to hold both. But as of now, as long as I'm human, both are a part of me. And this is the reason I sort of hate enlightenment as well. But no matter what happens, or however we decide to live life, however we decide to be human, whatever choices we make, we can always be aware of the deeper truth that's always within us. That you are not less, you are not unworthy. You are simply love. God, nothing. Appearing in the form that matches your current level of consciousness. But underneath it all, beyond all levels, beyond all conditions, you're already nothing, already God, already whole, already free, already worthy. Just because you are. And your reality proves it. You're here, you exist. And that's more amazing than you can ever imagine. So when you remember this, you can try to let go. You can rest, you can love. You can finally be yourself. You can try to live as you're already in heaven. Allow yourself to have, allow yourself to experience, allow yourself to fail, allow yourself to be human. Allow yourself to live. And if you do nothing, that's okay too. Life is not a test to be passed. We are all traumatized by this realm where we feel lost, uncertain of truth, with no idea of what to do. And that's fine. But you can allow yourself to do whatever makes you feel alive. Love your ego and love God. Follow your heart, follow your dreams, follow your desires. Or don't, it doesn't really matter. Just know that you are free. Free to push boundaries, and you're free to rest. There's always a time for nothing. There's always a time for everything. And you can decide that yourself. You can go for that run. You can create that video, song, or art project. You can lift those weights. You can do that meditation. You can watch that movie. You can eat candy. You can spend time with friends and family. You can be alone. You can take that massage. You can send that message to someone. You can go to that party. You can talk to that girl. You can say what you think is funny. You can take that cold shower. You can dance, cry, laugh, scream. You can also take a hot shower, rest. Allow yourself to be human. Allow yourself to take your time. You can feel that you're both God and a body. And you can allow yourself freedom, allow yourself peace. You can truly love yourself. And whatever you do, you can reward yourself with whatever, just because you exist. Allow yourself to do what you love. Allow yourself to be worthy right now of your desires. Allow yourself to do what you want. This is what's unconditional. This is love. This is freedom. This is peace. Because in truth, you are always safe. There is a safety net behind this reality. God will always be God. Nothing will always be nothing. And in this nothing, maybe we already have everything. Just know that no matter what happens, no matter if you play the game or try to allow yourself to let go, you are God, you are nothing. And right now, you're simply dreaming of being something else. You are already home. So love the dreamer and love your dream character. Take care of yourself. I love you.
Suppose you are God. Suppose you have all time, all eternity, and all power at your disposal. What would you do? I believe you would say to yourself after a while, man, get lost. It's like asking another question, which is supposing you were given the power to dream any dream you wanted to dream every night. Naturally, you could dream any span of time. You could dream 75 years of time in one night, 100 years of time in one night, 1,000 years of time in one night. And it could be anything you wanted. You make up your mind before you went to sleep, tonight I'm going to dream of so-and-so. Well, naturally, you would start out by fulfilling all your wishes. You would have all the pleasures you could imagine, the most marvelous meals, the most entrancing love affairs, the most romantic journeys. You could listen to music such as no mortal has heard and see landscapes beyond our wildest dreams. And for several nights, maybe for a whole month of nights, you would go on that way, having a wonderful time. But then after a while, you'd begin to think, well, I've seen quite a bit. Let's spice it up. Let's have a little adventure. And therefore, you would dream of yourself being threatened by all sorts of dangers. You would rescue princesses from dragons. You would perhaps engage in notable battles. You would be a hero. And then, as time went on, you would dare yourself to do more and more outrageous things. And at some point in the game, you would say, tonight, I am going to dream in such a way that I don't know that I'm dreaming. So that you would take the experience of the dream for complete reality. And what a shock when you woke up. And you really scare yourself. And then, on successive nights, you might dare yourself to experience the most extraordinary things just for the contrast when you woke up. You could, for example, dream yourself in situations of extreme poverty, disease, agony. You could, as it were, work on the vibration of suffering to its most intense point, and then suddenly, wake up and find it was after all nothing but a dream and everything perfectly okay. And you would say, wow, man, that was a gas. Well, how do you know that that's not what you're doing already? You, sitting there with all your problems, with all your whole complicated life situation, listening to me, it may just be the very dream you decided to get into. If you like it, crazy. If you don't like it, what fun it will be when you wake up.